This calculus lesson is implicit differentiation with respect to time, with respect to WRT, and it's a prerequisite to our word problems, our related rate word problems. So it's the same stuff, you guys. So when you take implicit differentiation with respect to a third variable, time, it's going to increase your chains. So instead of having a dy all the time, see, like before, when we did this with respect to x, then all the y stuff had a dy to it, but the x stuff didn't have a dx to it. But with respect to time, then this is actually dy dt, and this is dx dt. Okay, this would have been dx dx right there, which is just 1. All right, because it's in terms of x. But with respect to a third variable, then you have all these extra chains right here. So you have a dx with the x's, and you have a dy's with all the y's. All right, so yeah, so they're all dy dt's and dx dt's on there. Okay, so dy and dx are called your related rates, and they're related by the equation, and they're rates in terms of time. Okay, so this lesson we're going to practice implicit differentiation with respect to time, and then the next lesson we'll plug these into our word problems. Okay. All right, so suppose x and y are both differential functions of t and are related by the equation y equals x squared plus 3. Find dy dt when dx dt equals 2 and x equals 1. Okay, well, let's first take the derivative of that. Okay, this is going to be dy dt plus 2x dx dt plus 0. Okay, so when I do that, there's that, and then I just plug in everything. I did one too many steps. So there it is, dy equals 2x dx, and then they give me x is equal to 1. They give me dx is equal to 2. Okay, here's x equals 1, here's dx equals 2, so you plug it in, you find out your dy is equal to 4. All right, it's not that hard. Okay, so given, same thing, you guys. Given y equals the square root of x, and dy equals 2, x equals a half, find dx dt. Okay, so when I take the derivative of this is dy. This is x to the 1/2, so this becomes 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 dx, and then which is 1 over 2 root x dx, right? You guys with me, hopefully? 1 over 2 root x dx, okay, equals dy, and then just plug everything in, you guys. So when I plug everything in, I get that. Okay, and I didn't do this, but the square root of 1/2 is root 2 over 2. All right, and then so what happens is that simplifies to just root 2 over 2. Okay, and so I'm gonna multiply both sides by 2 and divide by the square root of 2, and I get dx is equal to 2 root 2. Okay, so you can do those algebra 1 skills on your own. Okay, no offense, you guys. Okay, so y equals cosine x, do the same thing, you guys. So this is going to be dy equals negative sine x dx, okay, and then just plug in all the pieces right here, okay, and the sine of root 3 over 2, I'm sorry, the sine of pi over 3 is root 3 over 2, so I'm just going to plug all of that in right there, and then so we get all of that, and I get negative root 3. Okay, all of these are going to be told into our story problems coming up in feet per second, in inches per second, or whatever the context of the problem is, feet squared per minute, okay, whatever the context of the problem is. And if you're in my calculus class, I would assign that first. All right, and make sure you do this one because it'll make the word problems a lot easier, you guys.